All right, I think we are good to go. CPU is good. We are live. Welcome to the Sunset Manor. My name is Commodore Lads here today, bringing to you guys another Detective Conan manga video. And today we'll be doing a discussion regards to Detective Conan, chapters 1009 through 1012. Join me this evening to talk about Conan. We got my boy King Recon. We got my home brother from Aussie, Quinton, in the house. Man, we've been wanting to do this for a while. Talk about some Conan, man. Just figuring out the right time, trying to get everyone together, into the manor, have some tea, sit down, relax and stuff, man. And we just want to talk about this arc because I think ever since we got caught up to Conan 1008, we've been dying to see, what else Gosho can bring to the table. And this case in itself is really damn good, but I think what we're excited for more is what's to come afterwards. But before we get to the after part, let's talk about the case itself. So I want to get your thoughts, guys, quickly. Start with Quentin. What are your thoughts on the Black Bunny Club case?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I liked how Gosho gave us like the 9 hour earlier sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
we've never gotten that before.
Yep.
And yeah, and like just the overall like mystery was good. And like it's always great when armor is in there.
Hmm. Anything like about the case itself, like
But
you liked compared to probably like let's say for example, with
yeah,
this
I
case,
like
the Maria case,
like
did you like this one better?
yeah, I well besides the ending of that, yeah, because we got like the flashbacks with armor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite part
Hmm.
about it, man. It was really dope for to be able to see those two characters that we've been waiting the entire series in order to get a face reveal from them.
Definitely.
And it was really cool to get that. I love the way that he ended chapter 1010 because it was one of those things to where they could have been anybody, but
Yeah.
the fact that it ended up being legends was it surpassed my expectations because at first I thought the person that he was speaking to at the end of 1010 was I forgot her name, one of the ones who's a suspect for being rum.
I mean,
You know what I'm talking
Rumi.
about, the one with the glasses.
Oh, Rumi, right?
Rumi.
Yeah, Rumi. And so that's why I thought it was at first. So to
Okay.
get to the revelation in 1011 was really really dope to me, and that entire flashback showing him in a cameo, it was mad dope, yo. I think that was probably my favorite portion of this entire case, even though it wasn't really part of the case. It was still my favorite part of it, aside from Kogoro, of course, with the slapping, slapping,
Yeah.
the bukas, yo.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
Shout out to Kogoro.
Kogoro, we're for sure gonna get a case like with Kogoro having like some kind of harassment charge on him. I'm at this point, Gosho might as well do it. It'll bring in ratings, it'll do numbers for Shonen Sunday, and
Absolutely.
but yeah, man, I think the case itself I think was very enjoyable because it was something I didn't think we were gonna get, especially the kind of theme that the case itself was. Black Bunny Club. A second when I heard the name the first time, like getting into like chapter 1009, I was thinking of like a stripper club for some reason. I don't know why.
Same.
And I'm thinking like it's a shonen manga, right? So I don't think we're gonna do that. But then again, I go back to chapter one, and some dude's head popped off during a roller coaster. So anything is
Yep.
possible, basically.
Anything's possible.
I would say the only thing I would have asked for, maybe in that case, even if it was just like maybe my own pleasure, my own thing I wanted, was Vermouth in a bunny suit. I just felt like this was an
Yeah.
opportunity to put her in there, maybe in a disguise, and then they would, like just get the reveal like she was watching the entire time what was going on.
That would have been without question panel of the year.
It probably would. It
No
probably
question.
would. But there were too many panels, I think, in this entire case that stand out as some of the best ones. But just the case in general, like, what are your thoughts on like Yuri, Sana, Atsufumi, and then Mr. Moroka? Like that whole thing, because for me, when I was looking at this case and kind of going back and rereading it again, I started to think back to the case that we met to Iori, the Porphyroid case, if I'm pronouncing it properly, but the cafe
Yeah.
basically, right?
Mhm.
And you remember it was the same scenario with that guy. He thought that his friend was going out with this other girl, and he didn't really know the details of what was going on, so he ended up causing him to get injured in that little accident, and then he found out the truth afterwards. I kind of felt the same feeling with that with the butler when it was revealed like he was doing this because he thought Miss Maroka like kind of like pretty much finished up with his wife. He decided to go for this other girl in Yuri, and then we found out afterwards there was like some kind of connection between them, which I could be mistaken right now. Is that Yuri's the daughter to Moroka, or the way he looks at Yuri is like a daughter? Like, what was the thing for that? Was this his actual daughter? Because I always keep forgetting for that speech.
Yeah, it was his actual daughter.
His actual daughter, right?
Like they talked about how he eloped with that woman like years ago.
Yeah. I mean that stuff though, it was really crazy because I wasn't thinking that, like, it's weird because then you go back to 1009, right, and you see like the way that Moroka has hands like all over all Yuri, and I'm thinking like, that if that's your daughter, you really do that, you know, like, and I'm thinking like, is Kogoro really the sicko here in this room? And and then, you know, if you think about it, yeah, he is.
They're all sickos, I'm be honest here.
They really are, honestly. But I think it just in general was really good too. I mean, seeing like, you know, I think Sana honestly should have gone a little bit more with her character, because even though I know it's like, you know, the three suspect thing where it's like everyone's supposed to get their own like bits of detail and stuff, you know, at least their screen time, and I kind of felt like the screen time was more directed towards you know, the butler, the Mr. Moroka and stuff, and her really was like, you know, talking about like how she was doing this job, you know, for her father, for like the medical bills and stuff because of his own treatments and everything. But aside from that, like, I really felt like this was more like a butler and Mr. Moroka driven thing going, especially from like 1010 to 1012. So
absolutely.
But I think, you know, just in general, it was still a really good case. I kind of like this better than the Maria one, because the Maria one, I felt like that's something you put as a placeholder for what happened after the Kyoto school trip. Like, it was something to kind of, I guess, put there for like the kids themselves, where I felt like even if you take that out, you still could have done everything that was within that case. But I think it was fine there because at least, you know, you have to get the kids in there, especially let's say if we're going to a BO arc. I don't think we're ever going to see the kids, like, you know, in that arc unless it's like end of series stuff. So they're going to be gone for some time. So I can see why Gosho may put them in there to get them some screen time. And then afterwards, you know, bringing them back after for like another case, you know, once we're past the BO. I always feel like that's a recurring theme. Every time we're done with the organization for a case, we go right back to the kids right after. It's kind of like the... I guess like to soften the craziness.
Absolutely, it's a palate cleanser after a massive, or not really a massive, but a serious arc. Like, it's
definitely, yeah.
Gosho's really good at balancing, in similar way to Sriracha does, or at least used to. Now he doesn't care, but like Gosho still has that part of him to where like he'll start off, he'll give some serious stuff, and then he'll back off a little bit. You know, give us that, but it's still in the middle of that arc. I mean, for God's sakes, in that Maria case, he gave us the biggest banger in the entire series. So, we'll I think that's my favorite thing about episodic storytelling is whenever it's handled well like that.
Yeah.
But lads, if you just give me a sec, I want to talk about something that in 1012 that I really liked in terms of the way that the case was solved, because the initial thing that I found really cool. In terms of the fact that he didn't have his glasses on was how Conan figured out like how he did it with like two phones. I loved the fact that because just personally, on a personal level, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Like, zooming in on your phone is the same thing, because dude, I can't even tell you how many times I've done that, bro. Like, on a serious note, as a person that has glasses and as a person that can't see that well, whenever I can't reach my glasses or anything, I'll take my phone and like zoom in from afar. Like, that's something I've done in real life. So I thought that was really cool, and it was because I'm pretty sure Gosho's done it himself.
For sure.
But that was a really nice little thing, because you know, you look back to the beginning of the series where smartphones weren't a thing, and the fact that Gosho's been able to adapt into, you know, the and I know how our world has advanced and keeps it creative in these cases is just really dope to me. I wanted to point that out because I thought that was a cool little thing.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, like, I love he does that. Like, you know, he brings in things from like, you know, maybe his own like experiences, or maybe something that he knows maybe from his assistants or people he knows, and is like, you know, maybe why don't I just throw this into the manga and see, you know, exactly how this could be received. And it really did make sense and stuff, how he was able to figure out what like the nails and stuff, you know, like how would you see, you know, from her nails, like all this the poison would be there because he was zooming with the phone and stuff. And I didn't think like he would be like Paul Pierce with two phones. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro. Paul Pierce.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You know, the butler had Paul Pierce's cell phone, man, in his back pocket. You know, for earthquakes and for the honeys.
Facts. Straight facts, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the case is stuff we're talking about, but I guess let's talk about within the case itself, like the stuff that we did learn with Elena and Atsushi. That stuff was very, very interesting, because
phenomenal.
It wasn't just like it was just thrown in there, because it was also used as well to help Amuro figure out exactly, you know, the whole thing with
figure out the case. Yeah,
the case and
exactly.
Stuff. But I was very shocked with some of the stuff that we did find out. We found out Asushi, his facial features and stuff, very different from what I was expecting. Because if we go back with the anime, right, he was depicted to be like a very skinny person, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, wait, hold on, bro. This because it feels like an Oda thing where it's like Oda gives us a description or maybe a shadow of what the person may look like, and then eventually upon their official appearance, there's a whole different person. And I kind of felt that too because in the manga, he's never been shown prior to this appearance. In the anime, it was just like a little like weird like random person pretty much that they put there. And then you just see this dude. He's like a chubby dude. You know, he's got like this big pouty face. And then I'm like, wait, he's going after Elena? Like, like, and he hit it 2 times, man. So shout out to him.
2 times, and then 2 goats came out, bro.
Exactly, and
both of which are being overlooked by the true goat.
Exactly, and then dude, I was so happy though, just seeing like even like little Kemi and stuff, man, because that means like they had some kind of connection. You know, her and Amuro, which for me now I wonder because we're gonna get this obviously this conversation between Amuro Akai and then of course with the Kudos when we go into that afterwards. But it makes me wonder if there's some like does Amuro know that she's dead? That Akemi's gone?
I think he might.
At this point, I would think he has to. Yeah.
I think he might because the BO when it reconnects to the BO, you know a lot, and that's why I really want to know how it is that that their information network works, because it would be very interesting to find out like how so many of them know so many different things. I'd like to think it's more like a Big Mom type of thing, or in the way that her family works, and the way they gather information. I'm going to assume like the BO does in a similar fashion, but I think he does know, and I think that's going to lead into a mass like a pretty big plot points here in chapter 10-13. Not even just in 10-13, but I think just overall. I think that's one of those reasons why he cannot. Aside from the whole Scotch thing, I think that's another reason why him and Akai have beef. So I don't know. It'll be dope though. But just to answer your question, I do believe that he knows.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things we have to see. Let me see. Let's shout some people in the chat. Though I see Maze. I see NBA. I see Strata. I see AZ. I see the legendary Froggy style. You've been telling me Recon.
Hey, all goats in the comments. Yeah,
cool stuff, man.
Oh, and you said NBA 20, right? Yo, that Haibara pick is like one of my favorite profile pictures on Twitter. Or not on Twitter, on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of my favorite. Every time I see it, I always laugh because it's like the perfect Haibara pick.
Yeah, man, dude. Haibara has so many gold panels, both in the anime and the manga.
Facts, shady.
Joey G as well. What's good? But yeah, man. I mean, I really like that stuff with the flashback because we got to see exactly Kemi bring in like this kid Amuro, who we knew already before, like he was getting into fights, stuff was going down and stuff during the time when he was a kid, and we kind of found out exactly what it was because of kids making fun of his skin color, and now that it makes me very interested more into him because if let's say for example like one of his parents are like from Japan, that makes me wonder one of his parents are probably African or or black. And it makes me think like, is that character, like, that person is going to be shown in the story have some form of importance, by any means. Because if you're connected to such a big character like Amuro, I figured you have to be at some point. Because it's like, how do you go from being this kid who eventually, working with the police force, who then goes to join with the BO? Like, where is that motivation that puts you there afterwards? So I figured it might have to do something with his family maybe or something. Like, it makes me wonder. But the stuff we got to see with Elena and... I gotta say this right now, man. For the longest time, I was scared to see what kind of person Elena was because, she was depicted as the Hell's Angel, the mad scientist.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking she might be cruel, she might be evil and stuff. I am so thankful that that's not the person that we saw her as.
Yep.
And I was talking with this to you before, Recon, but I loved her speech about, it doesn't matter about your color, anything about it and stuff. It's all about, we all have the same red blood.
Everybody has the red blood. Exactly.
I'm just like, that's so beautiful. Like the way it's so simple to say it and a kid understanding it after. I love that whole thing, man. For me, it just said right there, Elena's just a good person at heart. And, especially the thing with her and Asushi, finding out that she was actually pregnant with Haibara during this time. Like, she was 3 months in. And Asushi's like, what? Like, what? Really? 3? Like, and then he's like, well, what am I going to do with the Karasuma group? Which, the reveal.
Yo, bro, when she name dropped the Karasuma group, I was marking out.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, like, it was such a little, because, like, usually when we look at the text, right, they make a big deal of it. they put it in the smallest thing possible when you're reading it, like the Karasuma group. I'm like, wait, hold on, what? The
yeah.
group?
Like it's one of those panels that just you have to take a double take. You know what I'm saying? It was great.
Let me see. Froggy says, "Damn, she was a civil rights leader." That might be factual. I don't know. It might be factual.
Yo, hey, shout out to the best selling manga in history. He said, "Alele,
Alele?
alele."
Bro, that's the greatest thing ever. It's probably as good as Open the Roof.
It's as good as
It's good as Shout out to Mickey.
Shout out to Mickey,
but man, that was crazy though. The Karasuma group. So we can assume that's. The thing is, I like the Karasuma group name. I was always expecting it would be something associated to like the Crow Association at the very least.
Yeah.
But the Karasuma group is fine. But then I don't know. I like the Black Organization, just that name itself, because it just has like
I've always loved that name.
Yeah,
just the Black Organization.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of that? Like, if that's the name of the Karasuma group, like, would you be intimidated, in fear of it? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I fear again. I fear rum.
It is true. That's very true. Yeah.
Apparently, rum is a bigger sicko than Gin. So I mean, if these guys are connected to the Sunset Manor, then everybody should fear them.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Everybody should fear them.
Well, let me see.
Yeah. And Karasuma is probably like a bigger sicko than all of them.
He probably.
Yeah, I know.
Based on the
That's even crazy. I mean, for God's sake, look at what was in the man's house, bro.
Yeah. He had
the gang.
By the way, that's the thumbnail for this stream if you guys don't know. But really quick, let me shout some people real quick. I see my boy Ryan in the chat. What's good, Ryan? Hope things are well. Prince of Nightmares says I'm a balance. I don't watch, read, follow the series. Well, then you need to get into the series though, Mr. Prince of Nightmares.
Absolutely.
Strata says not too big on the name. Yeah, same here. Just want to drop in, say hi. Hazy, no worries.
Hey, shout out to Hazy, yo. Always support.
But Hazy though, for sure, get into Conan so that we can come here and know the greatness, basically.
I was promoting it in the Discord earlier. I was like, I gotta get into Conan, man.
Yeah, man.
The Conan greatness.
Hey man, the more people who get into Conan, the less likely chance that Karasuma does a madness.
That's right.
So yeah. But let me see. Do you guys think he's still alive, or is a sibling leading, or a descendant leading, or the BO the best name? Yeah, but Black Organization, of course. First of all, best name definitely. For Karasuma, that's the thing though, because you would think the dude's supposed to be if he's alive, he's like 140 something years old or something like that, 135. I forget what the number was, but if he was to be alive, right? How what would be keeping him alive? Because I'm thinking, would it be a Metal Gear Solid situation with Zero? Right? That's the only way I can see it.
That's what we were talking about last time, and it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, but then it makes me too, like, if it's a Descendants, right? Then it makes me wonder the whole thing with like Vermouth and Amuro's conversation about like, you're the bosses before she pulls the gun on him. And I'm thinking if her age is enough where she's actually like a mother, and the kid of Karasuma or whatever, right, actually is like the leader of the organization, like a young kid. And it would make sense in a way, because we talked about it before, but like in terms of like the conversations that we've seen, Vermouth have with Conan, or the way she looks at him and stuff, kind of looks at Conan as like, her own kid, so it's like, does she see her son the same way she looks at Conan?
Yeah.
And if that kid is the organization, then like, there's that connection and stuff. And not to mention like what Haibara was saying too, like, way back, I think it was in the Koshin Stadium case, where she's like, you're deeply involved with something that's been like, 50 years in the making or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, man, like there's just a lot of mystery still to like go with this, and I don't know if we're gonna get her like right away still.
So what you're telling me is that Karasuma shrunk and became Mitsuhiko.
All right, so we're gonna end the stream. If you have no idea what we're talking about, go join the Conan community server. Google search is your friend. But yeah, man. I mean, I still feel like we still need to see more kids, like adults turn to kids, with the aflatoxin drugs, because like I feel like up until
that's why I'm glad we got the Mary storyline going on right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Mary thing. Because if we hadn't gotten Mary, it feels like it's been so long since we've seen somebody like that. So I'm definitely very happy at least that we got Mary, and we could get something too with the Haneda guy, because like we really haven't like we know that he's supposed to be dead, but again it's the same thing too with like Asaka, same thing with Stomu. We don't know exactly what happened to these people afterwards. They could say to be dead, and all of a sudden they're probably like Wakita, for all we know. You know what I mean? Like,
hey man, might be you.
Bro, shout out to Wakita, man. That guy's a Danpei fan.
He factually is,
yeah.
As he should.
Wait, I think Froggy might have solved it. He says Genta equals the boss.
George.
George shoots.
George shoots, bro.
Hold on.
Actually, the funniest character in manga.
Let me see.
George.
Let me see. If the goats are watching it, I'll definitely have to check it out. Well, peace. All right, later, Hazy. NBA also says, who do you think is Rum? That is a tough one. Well,
I'm still sticking with Yori, bro.
yeah, because like I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been very easy to say it's one of the three people that they've been showing off for a long time. You know, with Wakita, with Ruaka. Oh my God, it's been so long. Rumi basically, Wakasa.
Yeah.
And then flipping Kuroda and stuff. And Kuroda, it's like it's such a weird one because he could be, but then like because the whole like coma stuff that's going on with him, like, you know, he's been like 10 years and stuff in a coma. His facial appearance has changed and stuff over time, and I'm thinking like it could be him, but then I don't know, because then it's like one of these people I think has to be Stomu. I don't know if I can accept it as Wakita, because how do you have a design like he had before, which he looks so godly, and then have like, you know, buck teeth, you know, after all that? Like,
it happens, coach.
You know,
it happens.
But I don't know, really. I mean, I like the Iori thing because it's, you know, there's a lot of evidence that could play towards him being him, because especially the whole thing about the hair color stuff, which, like, you know, you can change, like, you know, his the color and stuff in his hair, you know, if you have white to black and stuff. The eye thing, I think there was one panel we saw back in his case when he was shown where one of his eyes with the glasses wasn't really like being shown properly or something, like it was like covered. And I know that's like, I mean, we can say that with anybody and stuff, but like it's especially the way he came into the case too, because his name had started off with question marks, and that's the first time that I think in the series.
We were talking about that last time. Yeah,
and that's the first time I've ever had that fear of like, who in the hell is this guy that starts off with question marks?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if it was just a normal person, they would have their name, you know, Mugo Iori, but that wasn't the case.
That joke was so clean. Yeah. I was like, who is this dude? Question marks?
Yeah, because that's the thing. But I feel like in a way, because going back to what Froggy's comment, says, do you guys think they're red herrings? Like, keep seeing Iori, but yeah, when he was introduced, he was recording spooky, like, yeah. But the thing is, it's like, I feel like the three of them are still going to play an important role in the story somehow, especially Rumi, because I don't understand how she was able to get possession of the aflatoxin list, because that's something a black organization member has possession of. So it's like, how would you get it? And then not to mention the scars on her body. That is a mystery in itself, because if she is Asaka, the one that was shown in the picture that they put in the anime and stuff, then I'm thinking like, you know, maybe she's the bodyguard or something, and then, you know, maybe she was able to get her hands on the that it could be what Gin was saying about Rum making a mistake, because he lost the list to her when she escaped.
Okay.
You know, so maybe that's the thing. And
I'll take it.
And then they know that whatever's going on. Maybe Kuroda knows what happened to Rumi, I guess, afterwards or prior to that, and was like sheltering her before something happened to Kuroda. But then Wakita's this tough part, because we go back to what Rum's message, and we even got to see it in this case, that, you know, Wakita's name translated in English is like, or rearranged and stuff, goes to time is money. And if that is the case, you could say he might be Rum, but then it's like, that's, if we were able to translate that, we were able to figure that out, that'd be too easy. That would be too on the point. So I don't know. I mean, I would like Iori or a shapeshifter. Like, they can literally, the Rum can change into any person that will, and they could do that because of the antidotes or medicines that they have for sure in the Karasuma group.
And yeah, like imagine like he's, you know how Vermouth is like a goddess of disguise. Imagine like Rum is legit the goat of disguise, yo. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, Frog is asking about the Wakita thing. Yeah, so basically this is a I forget, it was I think on Reddit or on Discord, but someone actually found a panel thing where they did the translation for the whatever was the time is money thing, and when you rearrange it in Japanese, it spells out Wakita Takenori's name. So yeah, that's Gosho's a wizard. Let's just put it that way. But I guess we could talk about now like the stuff we're looking forward to the most, which is the clash, but a different form of clash between Amuro and Akai, because we started off 1009 with the two of them pointing guns at each other's head, and I'm thinking like, first of all, we moved away from the Karasuma stuff and we see that, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, how do you shift? And then it's like you hit us with the 9 hours, which I thought was cool, but at the same time it's like, oh, I'm gonna wait 2 months almost, you know, just for it. And then we get this at the end where Amuro gets in there. He made a copy of the key basically from what Ron did, because it would be weird as hell if he just stole a key from Jimmy's house, you know, and she wouldn't have noticed it. So like, you know, he made a copy or whatever, gone in there, and waiting for him was Akai. Now I thought it was crazy how he was Subaru when we saw him on the window, and how he just changed out of gear right away until back into his normal self as he right on him. And you know, he's saying like, you know, revealing your like your evidence, like yourself and stuff in the public. You know, I can just pull the trigger right now. We can end it right here. And then just getting to see afterwards, bro, Booker and Vivian.
Oh my gosh, man!
I saw
look at her, bro. Look at her taking a selfie, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, I was like shook. I'm like, I see someone turn the light, and I'm thinking it's gonna be Jimmy, like Jimmy and Jimmy's, you know, normal self, whatever. But then I'm thinking, no, wait, I see the thing, and it's Booker placed in the middle, and Amuro is shook.
He's shook, bro.
I'm like, yo,
as he should be.
That's what I'm saying. Anyone would. I was like, dude, he's like, huh? Who are you? And he had no idea. And he's like the detective too, so he would know these people and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't know. And it's like, it scares me more now, Recon Quinton, because Booker was able to figure out the damn name for Karasuma. And Amuro couldn't figure out any evidence on like, you know, just the person of Yukako. So it's like, Yusaku. And it's just like, how that, like, bro, something's up with Booker. There's something about Booker,
bro. I've been telling you, yo, the Night Baron don't sleep on him, bro.
Yeah.
He's factually the strongest. Him and Akai, like their brains are just at like they're reaching all the way to Saturn, man. And then Conan's is reaching. Well, no, Booker's smarter than Conan, but
yeah, I mean that's
it's still like seriously, man. Think about what Conan did. Think about what Shinichi did going all the way back from Clash to Scarlet, right? And everything that he planned ahead. Booker's the man's pops, bro. Like you said, he figured out the name Karasuma that we had all been like thinking about for 200 chapters, and no one could even begin to explain what it could mean.
Yeah.
So without question, bro, that's why I'm looking forward to this conversation, because now we're gonna have 3 heads from 3 different organizations, even though Booker is technically not part of like any organization, but you know, 3 different heads of 3 different affiliations, and we're gonna get some massive revelations. What I'm kind of scared for is, you know how every time we start off a case like this, there's like some massive revelation that we switch over to like something else. I'm kind of spooked on what that thing's gonna be, because like we were talking before, if Yusaku actually like name drops and lets him know about Karasuma, I mean, listen, man, if Rum has any type of thing on Amuro and he hears that, you know,
then dead. Everyone in that room is dying.
Amuro's getting smoked on the spot, yo.
Exactly. Like there's gonna be a sniper, bro. Korn's gonna be waiting there on the sidelines, ready to shoot.
Korn.
And then he's gonna go take Shanti over to the roller coaster at Tropical Land.
Korn. Korn scans, yo.
Korn scans. But like it's crazy, man. Just because like now it's like it makes me wonder whether the conversation is gonna be, because I figure it's gonna also be like, you know, Jimmy's gonna be there. I feel like Agasa's gonna be there as well, since he kind of knows, like, you know, obviously he knows Karasuma's name now as well. So I figure like what exactly, you know, like the conversation, like, do you think he tells him the name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's
I think he drops it, yo, and just like you said before, off air, I think Conan will be there as well.
Yeah. Because then I think too, it's like, you know, if he tells them, right, I feel like what they should first do is have Akai tell Amuro the truth about what happened with Scotch. Because I feel like when you drop the news on Karasuma, it's gonna be like, okay, I got this information, now everyone's screwed. You know what I mean? Like, why would I trust you afterwards? And I think I think you want to try and ease him in a way to, like, you know, you're on our side, because I feel like he is good, but he's still, again, stuck with the BO and everything. And again, we don't even know if he's bugged. Because if we remember back, like, in the day, Kira was bugged the first day she showing up. So it's very well that the same thing could happen to Amuro, especially now that, like, you know, Gin's kind of being suspicious of him and stuff, you know, with the whole, like, Sherlock Holmes stuff that was there. And then, like, I don't know, man. Vermouth too, especially, you know, since their last conversation. So it just makes me wonder, like, what's going to happen with Amuro. Because now I feel like, you know, we're looking at, like, Jimmy and all of them. They're on the hot seat. I think Amuro, if anything, is the character that's on the worst of the hot seats. Because his life is at risk now. It's like you have your ties to the police station. You have your ties to Karasuma now. Anything bad could happen at this point for you if you make the wrong move. And I think the only way to save the face for him is he goes with Jimmy. But it comes down, is he bugged or not? If he's not bugged, he's safe. If he is, then it's like all it just takes is Shanti pulling the trigger, man.
Hey, no, but he's there with Akai, bro. Akai is Ultra Instinct, you know.
That's
Like,
true.
the moment a bullet's incoming, and he shoots it back, he freaking breaks that junk in half. So,
Exactly. But
but yeah, you definitely bring up an interesting point there about softening up the conversation before dropping the knowledge and the facts, because that is true. Like if I were, let's just say if I were in Amaro's situation and I heard something like that right off the bat, like not only would I be shook, I would also be like, yo, like, well, first of all, I would be questioning if the knowledge is factual, number one, and if it's truly something that that I could trust. But I think I think that's why Conan should be there, because since him and Amuro already have this relationship already growing, I think after, just like you said with Scotch and Akai and Akai finally mending that, then it'll be easier for Bourbon's face turn to be completed, which I really am hoping for, because he can stay a tweener for the arc, right. But by the end he has to turn completely face. I'm just wondering. Well, let me ask all this. When it comes to this arc in of itself, if we're assuming it's going to be a long arc, let's just say it's like the length of Clash or whatever, what do you guys expect from the standpoint of how the cases are going to be? Because do you expect it to be just one massive case, like how Black Impact and the Halloween Party one was, or do you expect it to be multiple cases like Clash? Do you expect it to be like a Scarlet Showdown type of situation? Like, what are you guys expecting from this long arc that we're about to get?
I think it really depends. Like, if we get the rum reveal, then I think we'll need multiple cases.
Yeah, or unless like the end of it is the rum reveal, because like I feel like if you get the next BO arc, either you have to start with him already having his name revealed, or by the very end of that case, he's got to be revealed. Because I don't see how you can build up, what is it now, 200 some chapters since the last like Black Organization case we really had. And even then, would we consider Scarlet Showdown really a Black Organization case?
Kind of.
Yeah, like for real, kind of.
It's like in the middle because of Amuro and stuff, and but then it's like we got the rum, on the move and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, like, is it really a BO arc? Because then it's like, if it's even more than that,
it is. I'll consider it. I'll consider it just because
of the name. And,
yeah.
So then look at it, right?
Open the roof.
Open the roof. So 100 some chapters pass, and it's like we kind of do need it. We honestly need this case, but we do need Rum's name to be revealed at some point.
Do you think, now that we've seen Elena and freaking Atsushi, right, do you think it's time for Akai and Sherry to meet?
I think what would be scary, Recon and Quinton. This is what scares the hell out of me, right? Yep. Is that they have the conversation, right, and Sherry walks into the door while everything is being revealed. Like, let's say they say Karasuma, they say this and that, and she walks to the door. I can see that already happening, dude. And she's just like, what? Because she doesn't know the name.
Yeah,
we know that she doesn't know Karasuma. I don't know if she knows about the if Rum's like on the. Well, no, she does know he's on the move, but but Akai being there in that room while the name is dropped, it's like, what are you more afraid of? The fact that you know the boss's name, or that your sister's boyfriend is there?
Yeah,
And the fact,
I love the way you put that.
And then it's like the fact that it's even crazier, because we know Haibara knows about Akai, because like back in the day, it's not like she only knew like in the shadows and stuff, because you remember that one the marriage case with the girl, the wife that got stabbed, and she went to the hospital and she was remembering something that Akai said, like, don't worry, I got your sister, I'll protect her. And that makes me wonder, it's like, does she go off on him during that moment the second like she sees him?
That's a good point.
Because it's like, but then it's like, what happens with my boy Akai, bro? This man was not even there at the time. He doesn't even. I want to know his feelings, like, even deeper than that. Because we do know how he feels with Kemi, but it's like, how does he really gonna feel with her being there? Of Haibara, and then like, what does he say in that moment?
Absolutely. It's gonna be one of the key moments for his character, no question.
Or even worse, Jimmy is Jimmy, right? He's in his human form, like back in his normal form, and he has to tell Akai, like, I'm sorry for letting her down, because we don't know.
Oh, that would destroy me.
Because we know for a fact he never told him he was there at the scene of the crime, but when she died, we know that for a fact. Only the Haibara knows that he was there. Akai doesn't know that, so it's like, could you imagine Akai finding out?
This legit could be the best arc of the series, bro. Just based off of the interactions between the characters and getting all those revelations for the characters themselves. Not even just for us, like getting revelations for us, but for the characters themselves and how their relationships are going to change moving forward, or maybe even get stronger or weaker depending on what they say. Absolutely, man. I didn't even think about that.
Can you imagine? Because I'm in my head. I'm thinking, right? Akai is being told all this, and then when Jimmy's like, sad or upset himself because he couldn't do anything, Akai's just gonna say like, you did nothing wrong. Like that's gonna break my heart because he's getting like Jimmy. Oh man, you're my little Sherlock. If he tells me you're my little Sherlock Holmes, I might cry, bro. I swear.
Oh yeah, bro. That's tears. That's auto tears, bro.
And if Jimmy goes back and says Dr. Watson, that's it. It's over.
That's panel of the year, bro.
Panel of the year, man. Yo, you imagine him hugging the two as they're mourning for Kemi, and Amuro's just there, like all sad too. Like that's gonna be some sadness, man. If that ever.
What if Guinness is sick when interrupts all this, yo?
You imagine
like legit.
Bro, you imagine
he has the three people that he wants to kill right in front of him, yo.
Bro, can you
he'll
imagine?
have Akai, he'll have Shinichi, and he'll have Sherry, yo. It's all right there.
Can you imagine he's at the window like the bandaged man case?
He just pops up.
He just breaks his head in like the guy from the Schindler, I think it is. The guy who breaks his head through the door. He's like, here's Gin. Bro, you'd be sick of the head, man. Oh man, but yo, like there's just so much to look forward to now coming up with Conan, especially with this like BO stuff, Amuro and Akai, the kudos, like, and then it just makes you wonder too. Amuro and Akai are probably gonna ask Yusaku, how does he know this stuff? This isn't just you being a good detective. You know some stuff, man. There is some information that we need to tell
connections.
us, man. Well, he did say he had connections to the Interpol, right? Because he was able to try to figure out, like, until we can find out exactly how to fix your body, I'll go to the Interpol, find out what my people know and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, well, because Yusaku, we assume, like, he's full Japanese, same thing with Vivian, right? Or unless, I don't know, because then it's like, the whole thing about the sisters. Because remember, Gosho said, like, 2 characters can be revealed as sisters, right? And I'm thinking, like, Mary and, like, and Elena, that's too obvious, and I don't want that because the fact, like, that means that Kemi and Akai are cousins, and I don't want that.
That ain't happening, coach.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want that, man. But who else could be the sisters if it's not them? Because I do feel like it's an obvious thing Gosho could do, but who could it be? Like Yukiko and like who?
Vermouth?
As sisters? If she's like, but I think she's like 100-some years old though. It's like
What if Yukiko's 102? I'm just playing.
The Yusaku's been in those walls for 100 years.
Hey, as he should be,
as
bro.
He should.
He freaking slept in them for 112 years like he's Aang.
He's sick. Here's his wind bending and shit. And,
Yeah, I'm saying he's wind bending in the walls, bro.
Earth, fire, wind. But when we needed the Avatar most, he was inside Yukiko's walls.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man. But, it makes me wonder too with Kaito Kid as well, since because like his series, he's kind of attached to like his own organization, and like it's kind of hinted that both those organizations are attached to each other. So like I guess when the next BO case comes, I feel like he has to be somehow involved since he already has this stuff with Mystery Train. Gin's gonna wonder too how exactly if Sherry's revealed to him that she's alive and stuff. That means like he's pointing a gun towards to Vermouth's head, to Amuro's, because like I thought the job was done. I thought this girl's gone. Like, so it makes me wonder though exactly like how he's gonna play that out.
I would love a moment to where like Vermouth is in front of Gin, and then there's a situation to where they're about to split, and then it ends up that like Vermouth was actually Kaito. And then, like Kaito takes it off, like he takes off in the sky. He's like, "I got you," and like the Porsche just explodes. Well, no, I mean he wouldn't do it because he doesn't really use explosives or anything. But I think that'd be pretty goat.
Bro, bro, Gin's Porsche blows up, and this man walks out of the flames with like Sabo's like burn mark and stuff. He'll be pissed. No, bro, he'll look like the you remember the poster where Gin looks like a skeleton?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll have that look, bro. That Gin's gonna show up.
My boy's gonna turn into Makoto Shishio, bro.
Yeah, facts. He's gonna have the bandages and everything, bro. The Chupacatana. Oh my god. But man,
Strata 26 brings up a great point. States that still feel Haibara isn't revealing some info. That's true. I've always felt like Haibara has always like it's always kept certain things from Shinichi for sure.
Oh yeah, about the organization
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. Is
she
like,
wants to like keep him out of trouble, I guess.
yeah, because like,
absolutely.
Make
Yeah,
sure
she's
he
looking
stays
out for him.
safe.
yeah, because again, like she knows the whole thing. Like you're in this project, it's been 50 years in the works, so she definitely does know some information about the drug. That like again, because like every time she says you're not supposed to keep taking it because it reduces the amount of times you can like hold on to it. Like he was able to last like an hour or something. Like I don't know what his limit is now since the last time, right? Since Kyoto, I don't know how long he can last now after.
Yeah, he didn't last very long at all in Kyoto. So
yeah, because I think he had to take like 8-hour breaks, right?
Something like
Between taking
basically.
the pills.
yep.
That's the thing because I get scared too, man. Sometimes like something's gonna happen to Jimmy when he's taking those hydrotoxins and like he's gonna get mangled. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
No, Okita's gonna get mangled.
Okita's house is getting shot up for sure.
Yeah,
bro. I'm telling you, if we get you imagine a cliffhanger for like a chapter is like a Porsche pulling up in Kyoto.
Oh, dude, that's that's like top 10 markup moments of the year.
That would be my profile.
Dude, just when I see the Porsche again,
that's
like, dude, it's been so long since we've had Gin. Yeah. And I know that we just recently saw him.
Yeah.
In like at the end of one of the chapters, but still like actually having him involved in a case, I feel like it's been way too long.
Yeah, because I think the last time we saw him was with the scene with him and Vodka when they were talking about rum. Like I think it was the last time we ever seen them after, and then like, we just got nothing. So like, I wonder what happens after that.
And the time before that was flipping Mystery Dream.
Yeah. And they weren't even that big of a part in the arc as well. They were just kind of finding out the news and stuff. If Sherry was gonna be dead, if he's picturing her naked, which that stuff scares me. This stuff to this day, man. Like, I don't know why he thinks. If they had a relationship, man, I'm gonna be so angry because of her age, where she's at, bro, and getting sick in the head. If that's the case,
but he is sick in the head.
I mean, he's mentally ill. He needs help, but then the mental hospital threw him out. Like, I'm convinced, bro. Like,
I wouldn't keep him as a patient. Can
you imagine this guy strapped to a chair and shit with the jacket on and everything, and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs, Sherry.
Vodka's the one that broke him out.
Aniki.
Aniki, I'm here to get you out on some impel down stuff.
He wears the white hood.
All right. I gotta leave the stream.
I'll be dead, bro. You see this big chubby KKK guy roll up in the place. You know what the most messed up part is that when he puts the hood on, bro, his chin's sticking out.
All right.
That'd be too sick. Oh my god.
I gotta ask you guys, what do you think's gonna happen with Mary and Sarah? You know how they said they're gonna go look for the antidote? How do you think that's gonna end up?
Yeah, that's a good point, bro. They might actually end up. Not actually. They will be. The next BO case, whenever it is, if it's not this next case and whatever it happens, I feel like they're gonna end up playing the role of like Kier and Eisuke and like those type of characters end up playing in their particular arcs, like where they're gonna be the main central vocal point of the story, and then all the BO stuff is going to be going around them. So where they could find this? Do you think it leads them back to Conan and to Haibara? Or do you think they actually go into like one of the research labs with BO?
But the thing is, like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know like where the new lab is and stuff too. Because remember she said like anytime they switch places, they bomb it. They bomb it, bro. They don't care.
Yeah. No, but so what I'm saying is, so you guys are expecting them to try to reach out to Conan then?
You know what I can see happening though. I can see Masumi playing this like the spy role. Like who knows? Maybe next chapter she's probably watching in the sidelines, trying to get into the house, and she overhears everything.
Yeah.
But then it makes you wonder: does a guy pull up with a gun on his sister? Like, you know?
Watch out!
And then Mary pulls up with Mary pulls up with the gun to stop Akai.
Like, yo. Oh, yeah. Hey, bro, she can do it. Nobody's allowed to wear that voice mask aside from Conan, and she did it. So
exactly,
anything's possible.
Yeah,
anything's possible. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, they're like gonna have to go through Conan, I guess, to get the antidote because Mary said even like she's waiting till she gets back to her original form for the counterattack.
Yeah. which we'll talk about that in a sec, because actually I want to bring up an interesting point afterwards as to what her ties are exactly. But I just want to read some of the comments real quickly. Some of what Nyan here would say, Scare the Dan came through, what's good. Even tell Saibara, leave her in the dark. Considering I saw this comment before. But Naya came through as well. He says I'm going to hop back on Conan soon, which you should.
Absolutely.
Gin's a weird one. I mean, Sarah now knows that Kudo can transfer. Well, I mean, yeah, you can switch forms. Yeah, that we know for a fact. So, like, now she's going to be, of course, she's going to be suspicious the entire time, exactly what he's doing. So, she's probably doing, like, her own counterattack as well as to, like, how to get the antidote. Do you think that we'll get a Gin backstory one day at BAS?
I feel like Gin is one of those characters where if we get one, it'll be awesome. But if we don't get one, I'm fine with that too.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's one of the only characters that I can say that for.
Yeah, because it's like, for me, it's like, I would, if it wasn't the case we didn't get it, I just accept Gin was just, some guy who came off the streets, mentally ill. Karasuma took him in because, he thought he was talented. And there we go. That's all we needed. But if we get a backstory, it makes me wonder, why have this nature? What made you the way you are and stuff? And I feel like, if I don't know what could his connection be to Karasuma, like, unless it's like, a prodigy thing, or maybe like the crazy thing, it's a relative of his or something,
Yeah, it could be, man.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if like Karasuma is well, I don't want to spoil anybody on Gintama, so but just know it could be like Karasuma and him have like a similar relationship to Gin and his master. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's who knows? It's quite possible.
Yeah, Froggy says we need a Gin movie.
Oh wait, he said a Gin movie?
A movie of a Gin.
Oh, I would love one, dude. That would be like the greatest like 2 hours.
It would, honestly. That's a movie you do for 3 hours because we need enough time.
Absolutely.
Because then he's gonna be put in the penitentiary with a jacket on.
That's a movie that needs to be Lord of the Rings movie level. Yeah.
Like, that's factual.
3 hours long.
He gets a trilogy.
Yo, he gets like a Star Wars, so freaking Anakin. Anakin is good, yo.
Oh, Stata says do it like a light novel. So maybe, they could do that, but I would like to see that actually like with pictures and stuff, like of him like roaming around, being Gin and everything. But if it was a light novel, I wouldn't mind that unless
I would read.
Unless it would get translated to like an anime afterwards, like a OVA or something would be dope.
Yeah.
Epsi says don't read Conan, so I'm gonna dip, but I have a lit stream. Thank you, Epsi, for coming through. But read Conan if you can.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, like I wonder what else we can talk about really with.
Shout out to all the people that have come through, even though they don't read Conan. Yeah, exactly. That shows support that's showing your channel, bro. That's clean.
Yeah, definitely. I always appreciate that, man. I mean, if we're talking One Piece and stuff, it'd be a different case. But I always love just talking about anything in general, man. Wrestling,
absolutely. Especially where Conan is right now. Conan is in such an amazing part that it's hard not to think about it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or where it's at in its story.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Strata says you can animate it just like with Naruto. Oh yeah, with the Itachi novel and stuff. They could do that. But yeah, what else can we talk about too? So I guess we can just discuss like if we have a BO arc right after this, how like the length basically, and what like if you had to predict what kind of case it would be it be something similar like we're in the hospital or we're like somewhere else or whatever? Maybe they could do something where it's like Amuro has to meet up with Rum, and then from there they're gonna try and capture Rum.
And how do you think Mary and Sarah? Because I like your idea, but how do they get intertwined into that?
So here's the thing. I'm of the idea that now we know that of course Mary is actually from England and stuff, right? What is the name? The name I think it's M16, which is the
MI6.
MI6, which is for the English spies and stuff, the spy agency. So I'm thinking that she may have ties to them, as she's actually one of the agents and stuff. And that maybe we could see them be involved afterwards, coming into like to Japan, the same way that the FBI and the CIA have made their way in through Japan and stuff. So we could see them come through afterwards. But it also just depends too, like how that's gonna play. Because I figured by then she would have to know about the apatoxin, because I don't know why she would need to come back to original form for that to happen. Because I can't see her doing that in a kid form, Yeah. Because again, once her cover is blown, she has to literally go back into hiding, or else it's just a bullet's coming to her head. But I mean, if we have to assume it, I think she's gonna be there. I think for some reason I could see something about Stomu actually being like talked about in that case. Maybe even him showing up, in some shape or form, whether it's as himself, as whoever, if he's Kuroda or Wakita or something, who knows. But I feel like it's going to be at the same length, probably like Scarlet Showdown, something like, 8 chapters, 9 chapters at the very least, maybe even 10, right? But I think at the end of that case, then probably Ghost Show's going to go on a long break after that,
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
So you're expecting like a Scarlet Showdown-esque arc.
Basically like that, where it's like more of like a meeting of two, and then it's going to lead to like, the setup and stuff, like how they're gonna try and retrieve rum. Then let's say they interact with maybe one of the Black Organization members, like Vodka Gin or something on the side or something, and it's like brief like clashes or something while they're hearing what's going on between the two, something like that. Because I feel like if Conan's going towards its end, I feel like you gotta start having this stuff soon with like trying to get as much info as you can. Otherwise, I don't want it to be a situation where Ghost Show's like, gonna get to there and then we never get to it because of, illness and especially the hiatus he's been taking to for his health. But that's just my own thing for like what I can see. But what do you guys think? Like your own stuff.
You can go ahead, Quentin. I would like to hear what you think.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Laz, I guess, like, because there's just so much that needs to be talked about before they can actually go and do stuff.
Yeah.
Like we have everything. And wait, hold on. Can I say something about Kuroda first?
Yeah, sure.
So, like, going back to the rum thing, I don't think he could be rum, just based on the fact that if you remember the case where they went camping, he actually, like, visibly saw Haibara and, like, even talked to her, sort of thing. So if he was rum, like, I think she would have already been taken out.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So because I do recall. Them having that thing. So what you're saying is that we can pretty much like cross them out for the time being.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm pretty sure Rumi, that like shogi piece she has, isn't that from the 17-year-old case?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like a lot of ways this arc could go, I guess. But I think the most likely is the conversation, and then we get another arc like soonish or later on, where the big stuff happens.
Okay. So you're expecting like a Scarlet Showdown-esque arc right now, and then towards like the later parts we get like that mass. Okay, understood.
Something like Mystery Train or that, just like a heap of stuff at once.
Gotcha. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because the way the Ghost Show does his things, he doesn't really. I mean, I think an arc like Clash could definitely help in terms of giving us a lot of information at once. But look at how much he did with Mystery Train, and that was only like that was like a quarter of the chapters that Clash was. So I agree with y'all. Because originally, whenever I heard a long arc, I was thinking back. I was like, man, it's got to be like 15, 20, but I was like, nah, it really doesn't, because he considers the field trip arc a long arc. That's what he was saying. Like this going to be a long series. That's what it's in chapter 1000.
Yeah.
So that was only like 5 chapters. So yeah, I can see where you guys are going from with that. I can definitely see the conversation taking place, and then having a case and some BO stuff taking down. But by the end of all of this, what do you guys expect to be the revelation of this arc that's going to lead us into the next arc? Like, what is going to be that main plot point that's going to help us transition into the following chapters?
I could see something where it's like maybe the boss finally decides to make his own move. Like right now we've been getting for so long, like Gin's making his move. Now we got Rum making his move. I think now it's like the boss is about to make his move. Maybe if not an appearance from the boss, I think maybe like a shadowy appearance. I think we could see to kind of give us a clue as to whether or not the boss really is Renya, because it's only basically still like the theory and stuff that Yusaku was saying. So it could still be a Karasuma member. It doesn't have to essentially be Renya, but that's kind of what's being given right now, unless he's Zero from Metal Gear Solid. That's the only way I can see it. But I could definitely see something where it's going to be the boss on the move, and he's it's almost like like think of like in a video game, like you have like your secondary right hands and stuff. They would go and do the job. Nothing's being done. Finally, the boss goes out and does his own thing, and maybe he sends out his own sleeper agents, people to come in, like trying to find out some news and stuff, and then him personally maybe going out there and doing something about it. So I don't know. It's gonna be so tough to say, because if Karasuma is really like 135 years old, I don't see why someone would leave their vicinity, considering his age and possibly like if he's wired up and stuff, possibly. But if it's a kid, then it's tough to say because that kid would be warped and twisted, possibly like his relative in Karasuma. So it makes me wonder on that. And like, you know, if he's connected some way to Vermouth, would Vermouth allow them out of that position, even if they are the boss? Because, you know, if you take that person out, the group is pretty much gone. You know, unless it's like a situation where the head of the snake is pretty much gone, but the snake still moves, basically.
Okay.
So it's gonna be interesting. But let me read some of these comments though, real quick.
Yeah, there was one comment that I actually wanted you to read last. It's by Mr. Flame, where he says, honestly, I think Kier will be compromised at the end of the Rome arc at the start of the boss arc, and we get Akai moving around. I think that's a very, very interesting theory because that is true, yo. Kier has been relaying information to the FBI for too long, yo. Yeah, and I really do feel like she will be getting compromised pretty soon.
Yeah, because I think the last time we saw her was the Red Shirts bombing case with Gin and stuff when Amuro was Scar Kai and everything, and then it was the last.
Really?
Time. Yeah.
Has it really been that long?
Facial wise, yes, that was the last time. Word to mouth though, it's been Scarlet Showdown, but facial appearance it's been since the Red Shirts bombing. That's like chapters 700 to 704. So yeah, it's been at least 300 some chapters since the last time we've seen her, which is crazy because that's almost the equivalent in a way to like actually even more. It's more than the Akai thing because with Akai being gone and him as Subaru, because his was around because it happened during the end of Clash of Red and Black, which was in the 600s, and then the reveal was just before the 900s. So at least it was almost around the same time, pretty much the same time, 300 some chapters. But that's crazy, man, because like something's gonna happen to Kira at this point. She has such an important role as like, you know, as the broker basically for like Team Conan. Something's gonna happen, man. For her to send only 3 letters, and we haven't heard from her since. Something happened, man. So Gin's torturing her in like some basements in Karasuma's Sunset Manor. I don't know.
A basement.
That scares me. I can
actually see that. No, Gin's a sicko, bro. He's probably recording it.
And he's wearing the hood.
Imagine
he's the one saying it. 7 detectives from across the world. Welcome to the Sunset Manor.
Nah, bro. If that was actually him, he would have shot Kogoro like on the instant. He's been going after Kogoro for the whole series. Though.
That's the thing, dude. He still has him on his hit list. That's the thing that scares me the most, bro. So Kogoro eventually he's gonna get square up with them, and I don't know how it's gonna work up.
A serious question. You guys know how Ron always has like these close encounters with both with Shinichi turning into Jimmy and with the BO, right? And she's always being protected. Like, when do you guys think that's gonna snap? Like when do you think that she's gonna find out about the BO? Is that like true end game, like final arc, or do you guys think it could snap before that? Because at this point where everybody's learning everything and everything is coming out into the light, do you think it's possible that now like because like I still see it being endgame to where Ron finds out about Shinichi like final arc or like clear next final arc, but honestly we might be closer to that than I might be expecting, man. Like I feel like she might find out about this whole BO thing not way sooner, but sooner than that. I mean maybe after the rum, maybe after we find out who Rum is and take care of that. When you say Ron might find out who's like the whole what basically everything that we've been keeping over for the whole series. That's gonna be an insane chapter, man. When Shinichi has to like let Ron in on everything, and like she finds out all of this, that's gonna be crazy, dog. That's gonna be one of the best chapters in the series, though.
Or do you want to put a scenario like this, right? Because we know that she cleans up Jimmy's house and stuff, and say this entire conversation's going, the conversation's done. And we turn to someone at the door who's just waiting, and it's Ron who hears everything that's going on.
Like Conan opens the door,
and she's gone. She's gone. She's gone. No. She's by the wall, listening to everything that's being said, and she just dips. Like right after.
Gotcha. Yeah, bro. And then what about if like Vermouth or something intercepts her? Like on the way here, like, oh, my sweet angel.
Bro, if Gin's there, Gin with the gun.
Yo, Gin with a gun. Hey, hold on, bro. Hey, if Gin puts a freaking gun to Ron's head, Conan is actually turning into Jimmy. Yo.
He's turning into Jimmy, bro, with a machine gun.
It's facts. He's going gear 6, yo.
Yeah, he's getting Revolver Pro. He's getting like all.
He's putting on Stop and Power Pro FMJ.
Oh,
He's
my
Harrier
God.
striking the whole BO. Yeah.
Predator missile inbound.
Predator missile. He's sending camels. Yeah.
Bro, let me see. I saw more comments though. Give me a sec. Where is it? Yeah, the Akai family is going to be big soon. The middle brother might be involved in the Hondo case conclusion. That's something too. Yeah, Shukichi is someone that has to have some form of importance, you know, like further in the story. Because I feel like he's way too underrated of a character with the screen time that he's getting. Because like he's been talked about almost since like I think it was a little before or a little no, he was a little after Black Impact. And with him, it's like, you know, he was hinted back then, and then we only got to see him, I think, sometime in the 700s, 800s, I think it was. And then, like, with him, he's going to be showing off a little bit more, too, especially now that we know that he has a connection to Haneda, he has his surname and stuff, so we got to know exactly why he has that name. You know, it has to be more than just, like, you know, for admiration or whatever, but...
Mm-hmm.
But let me see. What was it a comment I found here? Doesn't look... Yeah, it doesn't look like Kuroda's eye is artificial either, so who knows? They need to have her play a... They need to have her play a real important role in the future before thinking of ending her. Yeah, at least with Kier.
Absolutely.
Puts on Kona headband, retrieval arc time. Froggy crazy. Mr. Flame says they can't kill off Bourbon. I gotta say his name properly, man. Barbon. Because he's a fan favorite and Kier is such an important character, but no one really cares for her beyond the plot points. Easy person to kill off. I mean, it's sad to accept that, but it is true in some way. But it's just like, man, I don't want it to happen, bro. I really, really do love Kira, man. I think, like, you know, Black Impact is the reason I love that arc is because of her, like, her character, man. You know,
absolutely.
You think she's just like this innocent reporter girl who's just like, you know, just telling you the weather and all that stuff, and then like, you know, she's actually with the BO, man. She's doing her own thing. It's just like, I don't know, man, if I can accept that. Like, you remember the panel where it shows her like grabbing onto Jimmy, like his ear and stuff, saying like, "Are you lying to me?" And I don't know why. I just love that. Panel. It's just like she can't be evil, man. You know, like she can't be like evil, like purely in her heart. She's doing this for a cause, man. But like,
I loved that scene.
Yeah, it's just like I can't accept her demise if like, you know, it's gonna come this soon. But at this point in time, man, we know characters in Conan can die. Of main importance, I think it's gonna be soon that someone's gonna be going out, and her name must be one of the first 3 cards that are in Karasuma's like deck. He's about to pull out first, man. He's gonna pull out Pot of Greed, and her name's gonna come up.
Yeah, so, no question.
But let me see. Low key, I want Bobon to die, so we find out what dirt he had on Vermouth.
I can't wait to find out what that dirt is, dude.
Yeah, I wonder. Too,
I really can't.
If it's not like the siblings, I don't know what could it be though. It has to be something like really deep rooted with Karasuma. So
that's why the whole Karasuma thing to me, like, it's still very, it's still very spooky, right? Because usually you reveal something like that after all of this, but we still don't know like Vermouth's connection to the boss. And then there's everything that they were discussing back in Mystery Train between Yukiko and Vermouth, and like you've been building up to this entire thing with Vermouth. And then of course like the rum thing as well, but we get the boss's name first. Like it really does feel like it's just Gosho directing our attention elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, he's focusing on something like, you know, like a classic mystery novel would. So I don't know, man. That's why I'm really excited to find out more about this whole Karasuma thing, because it just like I was saying earlier, if he really isn't the boss, man, and it's got to be George, no question. It's got to be George with the hood on.
It's George with the hood. It's Mitsuhiko, man.
Bro, it's Mitsuhiko, bro. Mitsuhiko took the apple toxin and it became who he is.
I mean, I would love to see, like, we were talking about this before we got into the call and stuff, but we talked about, like, you know, the that one special novel that Gosho's assistants did with, like, you know, those kids. I think it was Generic, the person's name, where they were like doing their own special BO arc. I would love to see that kid end up being canon to the story, and he's actually like a member that has interacting with Jimmy and you know, trying to be their friend, but he's actually with the BO. I would love something like that.
Yeah,
and,
agreed.
And the Highbar doesn't know, or she does know, and she can't say anything about it. You know?
Oh yeah, yep, that'd be dope.
Yeah, because Generic, I love his design, and I think he would be a dope character to have in the main timeline. So, whether or not Gosho decides to do that, we'll have to see, because he can pop in any character from his previous series into there. I didn't even know that what's his name, I think it's Yaiba, but the one that Okita is based off or whatever, right? I didn't know he was like the main character for one of his previous stories. They call Yaiba, and then the kid that he has to fight because of his sister and stuff was the main antagonist of his of Yaiba series. So I was just like, what? Like, yo, that's pretty cool stuff that he's doing with that, like bringing all his like his one shots and stuff all into like the main story. That's so dope. But
I wonder if he does that as like a cameo, or if it's actually like all in the same universe.
That's what
I think it might be, considering the stuff with Kaito as well.
Yeah.
With those two series being in connected. It could all be in the same universe. That would be really dope, man. Like that would force me to go back and read his other works, which I wouldn't mind if.
Yeah, like the one I want to read too is the baseball one, because every time we go back, there was that one case with the two. It was a pitcher and the batter. They were like facing each other off while they're trying to find a bomb, and I really loved like the designs for those characters, because they gave me some weird like Kenshin feel, I guess, with the way they were kind of like shown off. So I'm just thinking, like, yo, like, this actually looks pretty cool. I'd love to see Gosho do, like, either a tennis series after Conan, or, like, a short baseball series or something, man. Because, like, he does really well when it comes to paneling, like, the action when it comes to sports, like, the movements and all that. Does a really good job with the, especially with the Minerva girl, man. Shout out to the Minervas, man. The London case was god tier.
Facts.
Oh, man. I have to go back and rewatch that case again.
You should do a wrestling manga.
He should do a wrestling manga. Yeah, Stan Hansen is the main character. Oh, man.
See, imagine Stan Hansen with the Conan nose.
It's gonna be Stan Hansen's gonna fight Kogoro in the Budokan, bro.
In the Budokan, bro. It would sell out the house in 2 seconds.
It would, bro. Eerie factually would have to be the referee.
Absolutely, as she should.
Oh, man.
Eerie in a referee outfit would look like Steph in 2001.
No Way Out stuff.
No Way Out stuff, yeah.
Oh,
and Vivian can be Trish.
As she should. But let's see. Froggy says Akai will die before Baraban. Gosho better give Baraban any plot armor needed. If Akai goes out, bro, then I'm gonna have to go visit Gosho very soon, because there's no way I can accept, bro. That man's top one.
Hey, I mean, yeah, like he survived it once, so like next time if he gets smoked, I'm like, all right, he's Akai, bro. He'll escape it again. he'll escape it again, coach.
Bro, my boy Akai, man, I can't wait for him versus Gin. That's gonna be so godly. Like when we get that clash, man, like I can already tell that's gonna be one of the art's gonna be on point during that time, because art it ages like fine wine, and Gosho's gonna be going in, man.
Absolutely.
God damn. But let me see. It's interesting considering Balbon says the secret will surprise the others. But that's the thing, is like, what can you do aside from that?
That's a good point, bro.
You know, unless the crazy thing, unless she's an agent herself for somebody else.
Dang, bro! So everybody's an internal. Everybody's in the BO is trying to destroy it.
At this point, yeah, there's rats in it. Like Gin said before, there's too many rats in the organization. I mean, but that'd be crazy. The Karasuma's favorite is I don't know. It's just like, whatever the hell could the secret be? That like Karasuma piped Vermouth, like.
That's too simple.
It is.
I feel like Yusaku did too. Oh, I'm trying to think.
Yusaku did. Oh wait, but what if yo? You'd be crazy. What if we see like another Jimmy pop up, and that's like the whole thing, and then we find out that's actually your kid, bro. It's two Jimmys.
Oh, can you imagine, bro? Another Jimmy pops up,
and then we get like another Okita.
Yo.
Alele, like if like Luffy and during Whole Cake Island with the mirror.
Hey, Yukiko would be shook.
She would.
Shin-chan?
We did twice.
You cloned yourself? Agasa?
Yusaku's like, I have one condom.
Yusaku be like, hey,
I split my jeans twice.
As he should.
As he should.
As he flipping should.
Let me see. Any more comments here? But yeah, I think we could almost wrap it up soon, though. But is there anything else you guys want to say in regards to... So basically, let's talk about our predictions, though, I guess, for the next chapter. Because I think they said it's in sometime like early June. I believe it's coming out, or like late May, or something like that. So what do you guys predict that we're going to get? We get the full conversation that's gonna go down like completely, or are we gonna get that off screen?
It's gonna get off screen and go to Chiba and Naoko.
If that happens, Quentin, I'm gonna be so depressed. Because then it's like I should care for those two. Because if he means a long arc, look, he can do the long arc. If they don't become a couple, I will be so pissed. All right, you cannot do a couple of things with Miyawako, Naneko, and with Chiba, and they don't become a couple. Like, or at least tell the guy that you know they know each other and stuff. If they go a long case without them knowing that, I'd be furious, man. God's
Hey,
sake.
I wouldn't mind, man. It's just more of his romance genius.
No, but you can't do that when Amuro has a gun to his head by the top one in the verse. Come on, dude. With Booker turning on the lights, the man's eyes didn't show. He turned the light on.
They didn't show, bro.
Vivian was like, "You want lemon or milk? We milk gang in
Bro,
this house."
Vivian never opened her eyes, bro. She was eyesing up in that motherfucker.
Bro, her eyes were rolling back in her head from the last time she saw Akai. Like, that's facts.
Yo, she's in the same room with her three husbands, bro. She's with freaking Yusaku. She's with Amuro. She's with Akai. She's like, hey, man, you know.
Bro, I'll tell you
we can get something going, coach. You know,
that's three Jimmys. They're showing up in the next arc.
Jimmys, bro.
And Okita.
Hey, Okita's factually freaking Akai's son, bro. Somewhere, bro. So.
Oh my god, man! I can't wait for this next chapter. I hope we don't switch to Chiba right off the bat. Chiba will be the most hated character at the moment if that becomes the case.
Bro, what about if like he's just about to reveal something like massive, and then he does switch over to Chiba, bro? Oh like the conversation is getting really intense, and then halfway through the chapter he switches over to Chiba, bro. How would you feel, Laz?
Well, I probably close the app and then you know, and then we'd be done for the day, coach.
That wouldn't be the first time either. Like, remember at the end of Scarlet Showdown when Akai was about to reveal why like Bourbon hates him, and then the kids just come into the house.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then we wait like how many chapters after that? 50 chapters, 40 chapters, something like that until then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's true. You can do that. But the thing is, it's like, you know, we knew that was gonna be a slow burn. There's no way you reveal that stuff at the end and whatever. But no, this stuff has to come first. I'm sorry, Chiba. I know you have that relationship with your girl, but that could be sorted at another time when we find out information on Rum. But man,
they're like the good thing about if it does get off screen, like it's all gonna build up to an even bigger arc as well at the end of it.
That's very true. Yeah, definitely. Let me see. I think I saw something. Akai, the Jon Snow of Conan. No way. Bro,
we fight and go.
We might have to, unless he comes back, you know, as what the hell was the name that the Asa Azor, I think it's called. If he comes back as Asa Azor, then we're good. June 6th is when it comes out for Shun Sunday. Okay, so that's when we get the next chapter.
Yeah.
Yumi is gonna interrupt the moment unintentionally. Watch you. It's gonna over with Chiba. Yeah. I can for sure see that. Can you imagine her and Shukichi? And they just roll up. You're like, huh?
Can you imagine they roll up in the middle of them having a conversation about like the most intense thing in the series? Yeah. Just to interrupt like flipping Bourbon about parking at the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
you know, it's my rat-faced brother. Like, I still can't believe Yumi calls him that. That's crazy. But man, I love Chiba, but it's just like, come on, bro. I now I'm thinking about it. It's like it could happen. It could. Oh,
bro, no, and not that it could happen. It will happen.
I know that's where it will happen. It will. Chiba's gonna go from like, you know, potential top 10 character to not even top 50 after that.
Just like Agent Camel, yeah.
Yeah, Andre Camel, man. Great character. Amazing character.
Phenomenal character.
Phenomenal. That's another character we need to see more of too, man. Because like every time we got like interactions with Masumi and stuff, man, like I figured they're gonna figure out exactly that Masumi's connected somehow to Akai, and then they're gonna realize after, like, you know, because they have the connection, they gotta watch out for her too in case if anything happens. So, but we need to see Camel again, bro. I don't know why we haven't been getting that much from him since like Scarlet Showdown, right? So like we gotta get more of him, man. That would be crazy. Can you imagine he's the one who rolls up? He's like, I brought the lemon and milk. Like, and then like, what? Like, oh man.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That actually would, honestly. But let me see if there's any more comments real quick before we can wrap things up here. But yeah, let's see. Bourbon and Akai will come to the understanding only after they resolve the Scotch situation. They could talk about it during that conversation, because I feel like you have to kill that noise right off the bat, and at least tell Bourbon as well, because like, you know, eventually you're gonna have to deal with the situation, you know, about what exactly happened to Scotch. Then it's like, once you can come to terms with that thing, it's like you can move on after. And I feel like just bottling that up is just gonna wreck his health going forward. So there's no way, like, you know, you keep that in the dark. You have to reveal in the light. And it's not like you're gonna pull a trigger while Booker's there. Booker's gonna probably like put the switch on the gun to stop it from shooting, if anything, like, you know. But
I'm reading Mr. Flame's comments, and I don't know why I can't stop laughing.
Which one? Oh, high key, the Kudo family is full of savages. 2 pistols in and out, and they talking about tea.
Legit, bro. Like, a gun is to their heads. Yeah. And they're out here talking about, hey, let's sit down. Yeah, just have some tea. Go.
Shout out to Vivian, bro. She has the best tea. She knows what's good, man. The Strata says milk or lemon. We're milk gang in this house. Especially since it's coming from Vivian. Let me see. Jody and Andre means shit is about to go down. I mean, if they pull up, if James Black is there,
James Black,
dude, if my man Black pulls up, bro, then you already know someone's getting shot. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. James Black showing up is the equivalent of the black Porsche showing up in an argument. Like, that's how you know it's going down, dog.
Yo, because that man is just like, yo,
he's the boss.
He is, bro. Like,
he's the boss, bro.
He is that dude. Camel's gonna mess up again. I don't know how can you mess up again, honestly. At this point, how do you mess up? Like, oh, you have like a speaker or something on or something stupid. Like, he has a speakerphone on, and the whole neighborhood hears it or something. I don't know, something stupid. And then Gin's at the bar. He hears all this news, and then you just hear gunshots at the bar.
He burns the whole place down.
He's like, "Hey, remember that pub we went to? It's in flames." Oh man. Let me see. When you see that stash, it's a wrap. That's facts. When you see Black's mustache man, you already know we're about to go to war. And shout out to Black man. James Black gonna roll up to the Kudo residence with the Akai stare from way back. Yeah. When you mean the one when they were in the car and stuff? Oh yeah. My God. That's the thing, because I thought those would be some random tourists or whatever, and then it's like, no, that's the leader of the FBI. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
That joke was crazy.
I miss him, man. We need the FBI appearance. We need Eastgate to come back into the story. We need Kier to come back. Just everybody, man. Yamamura needs to come back as well. Yeah, Yamamura, bro. Listen, the next case we go to Gunma, it's gonna be the best case ever. That'll be facts. You know, top 3 detective. Let me see what else we have here. Wakita, the dude in the sushi shop, is Gin's guy 100%. So maybe like a subordinate? Could be considering the Kogoro suspicion. I mean, it is true though, because he like starts. The thing is though, it's like the way he was suspecting him and stuff. You know, during like they went with the horse track case and stuff when he got the winning ticket and everything. Like, it just felt really weird, like how aggressively he was against him and stuff. As like, you know, he knew all this information about him and like his mannerisms and stuff. I'm like, I felt that was very, very weird. And then just like, and now it's just like, you know, him pulling up with like, you know, with ramen, I think it was, or cakes or whatever it was. Like, he pulled to Augusta's house. He's like, oh, I make a delivery and the thing. Wouldn't you think you would make the delivery first? I mean, then again, yeah, like, you know, the crowd of people and stuff that were there at the time and stuff. But like, I felt like that was very convenient though on his part just to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so, yeah, that's a good point.
Let me see. Gin been suspecting Kogoro, which explains this random dude asking to be his assistant, just like Amuro. Oh, yeah, that is very true, because Amuro did that, and then we found out after he was Bob on, so. Damn. But if Don Pay's revealed as an antagonist, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel, bro. Oh, man. But yeah, I think we could probably wrap it up here, man. We're probably going to have more stuff come to light within the next few weeks, possibly. I don't even know, because I need June to come. Like, May needs to wrap up. Give me June so I can give you this conversation. If you give me Chiba, then I mean, after, bro, the video, my reaction is gonna be me just turning off the camera. That's it. Like, that's gonna be it. Oh man, but hey man, shout out to Chiba. Hopefully gets this girl. Shout out to Ghost Show putting out 1013 possible chapters of greatness. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, you know, it's gonna be great. Appreciate you guys all coming through though. Recon, Quinton, everyone else in the chat, man.
Thank
too,
you.
man.
Thank you for allowing me to speak and talk about freaking Conan, dude. This chapter's been on my mind since I read it, man. So this was dope, yo.
Definitely, man. Hopefully, you know, the next case gives us more to talk about as well. I feel like it will. I think the next BO arc is gonna give us more to, like, you know, theorize and speculate like what's gonna go down basically. But
of course, man, we could talk about Chiba's gains.
yeah, Chiba's gonna have multiple gains for sure. I mean, he better have gains after this case, if it happens. But definitely a lot of good stuff. But, you know, shout out to Mr. Flame, Strata, Froggy Style for coming through. The best ongoing manga. Don't app me. I'd tell you this right now, man. It's the best manga outside of Weekly Shonen Jump as a shonen series. So that might be factual. So, yeah. Man, final thoughts.
The Mitsuhiko's the boss.
All right, so that's a good time to end it here, guys. So Commodore Laz signing off. Thanks for watching. Good night. But not for real though. Quentin, anything you want to say?
What?
Anything you want to say, Quentin?
Great case to come back to. See ya.
All right, that's perfect. So we'll catch you guys in the next case discussion. Hopefully, I think sometime the end of June, maybe beginning of July. I want to assume if we come back on here, unless the next chapter is like, you know, a 1008 level chapter, or, you know, then we'll probably come back for like another chapter. But not, stay tuned for the next discussion, and it's gonna be fire, guys. But thank you guys for coming through. Like the stream if you guys enjoy. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below if you're watching this after stream's been up on the video on demand. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. So Commodore Laz signing off. Thank you for joining us here tonight at Sunset Manor. And as always, take care.